July 13th, 2014. We're looking at Earth-facing images from the SDO. These are amazing for me to watch. Guys, all the magnetic prominences are being pulled to the right of the sun. Even the sunspots now are being pulled that way. But we have two dangerous filaments on the left side, and we've seen this before. When the sunspots would diminish, the filaments would start popping off for a week or more. But look at the difference between the left side and the right side of the sun. And again, we've got Venus and Comet Jacques there. I'm going to show you some images there that are also amazing. But look at the difference in the two sides. Tremendous amount of energy being pulled off. And look at the very bottom of the filaments in this camera. You can see that each one are connected by these small tornadic tendrils, basically is what all you can say. They're connected. You're only seeing the top of these in the red camera. Here you're only seeing the bottom. Also the one in the top left, it looks like a bunch of small twisters, and we've seen it before. But again, between Venus and Comet Jacques, all that magnetic energy is pulled to the right. These are amazing images when you realize how large the sun is, how small Venus and how small Comet Jacques is compared to that solar disk. But starting at midnight last night, at 0600 hours, that's midnight Central Time, that would be about 1 a.m. on the East Coast, guys, the EPAM proton chart started becoming very disruptive. We've seen this before when we had incoming coronal mass ejections, and they were tracking one from this morning they said would arrive around 6 a.m. on the East Coast this morning. But again, that's plus or minus 7 hours is their average, and we've seen that been that timing has been incorrect before. That may be what we're seeing, but there's almost a drawdown, and then it's pulled back up at a higher point. Notice at the end, we're starting to see a spike now. We've had a 6.1 quake down in South America just off the coast on the Ring of Fire. So we need to watch this. This is a very disruptive looking chart. Now, let's look at some other images. Notice all of the energy is pulling to the right. We have some developing on the left, but most of the problems we're going to encounter in the next few days are these filament releases. Check this out. They have finally updated this, but they took 5 days out. We watched it get stuck right here on the 6th, right before Comet Jacques encountered Venus. In other words, the tail was going to blow through it. I was expecting possibly some magnetic arcing, very similar to what we're seeing the sun doing right now, guys, because we're dealing with a electric universe. But what they've done is here, if you'll notice at the timestamp, 5 days. When that tail got swept back a few days ago, they took out 22 hours. I'm going to slow this down. We'll take a look at it. It got stuck right here on the 6th for 7 days. Now today they've updated it. Notice the timestamp, 5 days later. But notice the sun and the solar waves that are coming out from the right. This comet is still very energized. It's much further away from the camera by 7 days, guys, but it's still very energetic. Look at the length of that tail going over the wing tip of that spacecraft, and look at the different pulses of solar energy coming at this thing. Very electric universe. It's a heads up. This thing is pulling up and above our ecliptic. We'll have to see what the sun does. Again, you've got Mercury, the sun, and the polarity of this comet as a kind of three-way combination of electrical charges, both positive and negative. Very interesting, guys. Heads up. Be safe.